Right now, as you're watching this, millions of Americans are quietly doing the same thing you might be doing, checking their bank balance, scanning their bills, calculating what's left after rent, groceries, gas, medicine, childcare, insurance, and everything else that keeps rising faster than paychecks. You feel it in your stomach every time you swipe your card. You feel it when your kid asks for something simple and you hesitate. You feel it when the utility bill lands in your inbox and the number looks higher than last month again. This isn't just news. This isn't just politics. This is your real life, your family's stability, and your financial breathing room. And today's $2,000 stimulus update could change the next few months for you in a very real way. For some households, this money could mean catching up on rent instead of falling further behind. For others, it could mean filling the fridge without anxiety, fixing a broken car that keeps you from getting to work, or finally paying down a credit card that's been haunting you for years. That's why you need to stay locked in, because the details matter, the timing matters, and who qualifies matters more than ever. There's been a wave of headlines, social media posts, half-truths, and rumors flying around about a possible $2,000 payment. Some say it's approved. Others say it's coming next month. Some say only certain people qualify. It's confusing, emotional, and honestly exhausting when you're already stressed about money. That's exactly why this video exists. To break everything down clearly, simply, and honestly, so you can understand what's real, what's still being debated, and what actions you should be thinking about right now. And here's the suspenseful part. The way this stimulus could roll out may surprise you. And some groups could see money sooner than others, depending on how decisions unfold. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know where you personally stand and what to watch for next. Why this $2,000 stimulus conversation is heating up again. You might be wondering why this stimulus conversation suddenly feels loud again after months of silence. The answer comes down to pressure. Pressure from rising prices, pressure from voters, pressure from households stretched thin, and pressure from economic warning signs that don't always make the evening news. Inflation may not be screaming in headlines every day, but your grocery receipt tells the real story. Rent hasn't magically gone down. Insurance premiums haven't gotten friendlier. Medical costs still surprise families every month. And wages? For many Americans, wages are crawling while expenses are sprinting. Lawmakers know this pressure is real, and when enough people feel financial stress at the same time, stimulus conversations resurface fast. Another reason this discussion is back is consumer spending slowing in certain sectors. When families tighten their budgets, businesses feel it. When businesses feel it, the broader economy feels it. Stimulus isn't just about helping households. It's also about keeping money moving through the economy so jobs remain stable and communities stay strong. That's why proposals keep circulating about direct payments that go straight into your hands instead of getting lost in complicated programs. A $2,000 check is simple. It's immediate. It's something families can use exactly where they need it most. But here's where suspense enters the story. Not all stimulus proposals are the same. Some target low-income households. Some include seniors, Social Security recipients, SSDI, and SSI. Others aim at families with children or workers impacted by cost of living spikes. The structure matters because it determines who gets paid first, how fast payments move, and whether your household is included. That's why you can't just read a headline and assume a check is coming tomorrow. You need the deeper breakdown, and that's exactly what we're doing today, so you don't get blindsided or misled. Who could qualify if a $2,000 payment moves forward? Let's talk about the question everyone cares about most. Would you qualify if this $2,000 stimulus moves forward? While nothing is final yet, most serious proposals follow familiar patterns from previous relief programs. Income limits almost always play a role. That means households earning below certain thresholds would likely qualify for full payments, while higher income households might receive reduced amounts or none at all. If you're a working family, a retiree on fixed income, a single parent, a caregiver, or someone balancing multiple jobs just to survive, you're exactly the type of household lawmakers are discussing when they talk about targeted relief. Many proposals also consider Social Security recipients, SSDI, SSI, veterans benefits recipients, and low-income seniors. These groups often feel inflation the hardest because their income doesn't rise quickly while their expenses keep climbing. If you or someone in your family relies on fixed benefits, this stimulus conversation could be especially important for you. Some plans also look at dependents, meaning families with children could potentially see higher total payments depending on how a bill is structured. Here's the suspenseful twist. Eligibility rules can change during negotiations. What starts as one income cutoff can shift. What begins as including certain benefit groups can expand or narrow. That's why staying updated matters. If you assume you won't qualify and tune out, you might miss an opportunity. If you assume you will qualify and spend mentally before money arrives, you could create unnecessary stress. Smart households stay informed, flexible, and prepared. The key takeaway for you and your wallet is this. If a stimulus moves forward, it's likely designed to help households feeling the squeeze the most. That's everyday Americans trying to hold things together while costs keep rising. That's you worrying about your family's stability. That's why this conversation is emotional, urgent, and deeply personal. When could the money actually arrive in your account? Timing is everything when your bills don't wait. So when could this money realistically show up if a $2,000 payment gets approved? Historically, once legislation passes, payments can begin within weeks, not months, especially if systems already exist to send direct deposits, prepaid cards, and mailed checks. If your bank information is already on file with the IRS or benefit agencies, direct deposit tends to arrive fastest. Paper checks and debit cards take longer, especially for rural areas or households that move frequently. However, approval timelines depend on political negotiations, budgeting approvals, and administrative readiness. That's where uncertainty lives. Some proposals move quickly when urgency builds. Others get delayed by debates over funding sources, eligibility limits, and economic impact projections. This is why you may hear optimistic timelines one week and cautious warnings the next. Here's what you should mentally prepare for. Once an agreement becomes official, the government usually releases an estimated rollout schedule within days. That's when you'll want to pay attention closely because it will outline who gets paid first, how payments are distributed, and what actions you might need to take. If you've changed bank accounts, moved addresses, or had tax filing changes, those details matter more than most people realize. The suspense element is simple but powerful. When approval happens, millions of people will refresh their bank apps daily. Some will see deposits earlier than expected. Others will wait longer. Being informed keeps you calm and prepared instead of anxious and reactive. How this $2,000 could impact your real daily life. Let's bring this out of policy talk and into your kitchen, your car, your medicine cabinet, your family calendar. What would $2,000 actually change for you? For many households, it means catching up instead of falling behind. Maybe it wipes out overdue utility bills. Maybe it stabilizes rent for a month or two. Maybe it allows you to fix a vehicle that keeps breaking down and threatening your job stability. Maybe it finally gives you breathing room to buy healthier food instead of the cheapest option available. For parents, this money could mean school supplies, clothing, extracurricular activities, or simply less stress at the dinner table. For seniors, it could mean prescription coverage, home repairs, or transportation costs. For workers juggling debt, it could mean lowering interest payments and reducing financial anxiety that follows you to bed every night. This is why stimulus conversations aren't abstract. They hit emotions because money impacts dignity, security, and opportunity. When your wallet gets even a small cushion, your mind gets relief. You sleep better, you plan better, you breathe easier. That's real. But here's the important mindset. Stimulus is not a long-term fix. It's a temporary boost. Smart households use it strategically instead of emotionally. That means prioritizing stability, reducing stress points, and protecting your future. If you prepare now mentally, you'll use the money wisely if it arrives. What you should do right now to stay ready. You don't need to panic. You don't need to refresh headlines every minute, but you should stay prepared. First, make sure your tax filings and benefit records are accurate. If your bank information has changed, update it with the proper agencies when possible. If you've moved, make sure your mailing address is current. These small details can prevent big delays later. Second, think about how you would prioritize a $2,000 payment if it arrives. Write it down. Bills first, safety needs first, stability first, then breathing room. Having a plan reduces emotional spending and maximizes impact. Third, stay informed from reliable updates instead of rumor posts and clickbait claims that promise guaranteed dates without evidence. The goal is clarity, not anxiety. Prepared households win when opportunities arrive. Separating facts from rumors and misleading claims. Social media moves fast, but truth moves carefully. You've probably seen posts claiming checks are already approved or that deposits are coming next week. Many of these posts exaggerate or misinterpret early discussions. That creates emotional whiplash for families already stressed. Real progress happens through official announcements, legislative movement, and agency confirmations. Until those steps occur, treat timelines as projections, not promises. Staying grounded protects your mental health and your planning. Why this moment matters for America's financial future. This stimulus debate reflects bigger questions about affordability, wage growth, healthcare costs, housing stability, and economic resilience. What happens now shapes how future support programs are designed. Your voice, your awareness, and your participation matter more than you think. What could change? Next negotiations can shift quickly. A proposal could expand eligibility, adjust payment amounts, or introduce phased rollouts. Economic data releases could accelerate urgency. Political momentum could reshape timelines. That's why staying connected matters. Your financial future deserves attention, preparation, and reliable information. This channel exists to help you protect your family, your wallet, and your peace of mind. If you want to stay ahead of every update, every change, and every opportunity that could impact your money, make sure you stay connected, stay informed, and stay ready for what comes next. Your future self will thank you.